Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome all of you to our regular board meeting of the Board of Trustees of San Angelo Independent School District. I'll call our meeting to order, and I notice that we have a quorum. All our board team is here, and I appreciate everyone's attendance. Our invocation tonight will be offered by Jeff Shelton, our worship minister at Johnson Street Church of Christ. Come up, Mr. Shelton.
Would you please pray with me? Our great and loving Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We come to you with grateful and thankful hearts. One, for this great rain that you've given us. Father, sometimes things that can seem a nuisance and annoying, we know that are a blessing from you, and we have the perspective of knowing how much we need the rain, and so we thank you for that. Father, our hearts are also troubled with the news of another school shooting today in Nashville. And Father, we just ask that you be with those families, the school community, and we just pray for your peace and mercy to rest upon them. Father, we don't have answers, but we know that people need you, and so we just pray that we can always turn to you. Father, we're thankful for this community that we live in, and I thank you for the school system here. Thank you for the board members. We thank you for our teachers, for our administrators, for all of the faculty. Father, as we've been a witness to tonight, we have some really talented students here in San Angelo, and we thank you for that God-given talent, and we thank you for the ones who put care into them and nurture them and train them and instruct them and help them to develop and grow. And Father, we pray that all of our students will become world changers. So tonight we just ask for your wisdom and your grace to be upon this meeting. Father, may your will be done in all that we do. In Jesus we pray. Amen.
And Mr. Shelton, did you tell me that not only this, you are a parent of one of the students that will be recognized today? Well, thank you for that too. All right, I'm going to invite some of our bottom elementary students to come forward now to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I think we have here today Archer Rogers, Adeline Lomas, Kinley Flores, Taylor Briggs, and Brady Lupton. Would you come forward? And would everyone please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag, followed by the pledge to the Texas flag. Students, if you'll stay up, or your parents, anyone that wants to take photos, the students will be here. Thank you again, students. Their principal, Ms. Luther, we appreciate you having your students here. And earlier, we heard from the Bonham Glee Club also entertained us at 5:30 before our meeting, as did some of the all-state choir and orchestra students that will be recognized in a few more minutes. Before we go forward, I need to read a script that we do before every meeting. As I said, I want to welcome all of you here. I'm Max Parker. I'm president of the Board of Trustees of the San Angelo Independent School District. Besides welcoming those that are filling our room today. I also want to welcome those who are watching the recording of this meeting online on our public access channel, Optimum Channel 4. We appreciate all of you and your interest in our students and the business of SAISD. All items that will be discussed at our meeting this evening have been posted as required by state law. Also, as you may be aware, our board meets a minimum of 2 times per month, and most, if not all, the items on our agenda this evening have been previously discussed at an earlier pre-agenda board workshop last Monday. As members of the SAISD Board of Trustees, we're here to set goals, listen to reports from our superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, and personnel appointments, and to make policy for the district. Please keep in mind that our meeting is a meeting of the Board of Trustees held in public and not a meeting of the public. However, prior to taking any votes on an action agenda item, I will ask audience members if they would like to make any comments. Also, we have a public comment item on every one of our meeting agendas that allows anyone present who wishes to speak to our board team on an item not on our action agenda an opportunity to do so. Please provide your name and contact information and the specific topic you wish to address on a public comment form located in the back of the room prior to the start of tonight's meeting should you want to speak on an issue not on our action agenda. Please listen carefully and comply with the following rules if you do want to give public comment so we can move through our public comment session efficiently. Each speaker will be given a total of 5 minutes or less to speak. You will be notified when your time is up. You are to stop speaking and return to your seat. You will not be given extra time. Please respect the privacy of others and refrain from identifying students, employees, or other community members by name. Disruption of the meeting will not be tolerated at any time. Comments on any subject, whether positive or negative, must be courteous and respectful. Comments are limited to the specific topic you indicate on the form you filled out. Any speaker with a specific complaint about a district employee, decision, or operational issue should present that complaint through the appropriate mechanism, which is the district's formal grievance process. Speakers with a specific complaint will be referred to district administration for information about the grievance process. If you already have a pending grievance being processed by the district, you will not be permitted to speak about that grievance during public comment. Also, please understand, if you speak to us on an item not on our action agenda, the board cannot reply to you except to thank you for your comments, since the matter has not been posted for discussion. In compliance with state law, these proceedings are recorded and will become a part of SAISD's permanent legal record. In order that the recording will adequately reflect the proceedings, I ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking. I also ask, as I remind my fellow board members, to please turn off or silence your cell phones. Again, thank you for being here and for your support of SAISD. All right, I'm going to turn it over now to our Director of Athletics, Rodney Chant, for some recognitions.
Thank you, Mr. Parker, Dr. Deathloff, board members. It's been an eventful spring already. We just concluded our 61st San Angelo relays with 65 teams in a successful weekend, and we're excited about the rest of the things we have coming up in the spring, including regional gymnastics this week, district golf for what we could get in today before the rain hit. So a lot of great things going on. Tonight we want to recognize a number of our playoff teams, and first off we want to start off with the Lady Cats, led by Arsenio Jeter.
Hello, good evening. We are the Lady Cats basketball team, and I would like to start off by introducing our staff. This is Xavier Martinez, Lauren Bird, and Angelique Woodson. And then here is our team that showed up today, Nevaeh Hearn. And with Nevaeh, she was the district offensive player of the year, academic all district, and try not to forget anything. And then Regan Howe, she was academic all district as well. Jules Perez, she was the district defensive player of the year, and academic all district and academic all state. Sadie Moreno, she moved up with us. Lauren McLean and Carly Montez. Carly Montez was academic all district. Sydney Moore, she was second team all district, along with academic all district. Kiara Njamanzi, she was academic all district and academic all state. Angel Pace, Isel Overa, are awesome, amazing managers. Jax Guerrero and Jojo Martinez. Anna Where's Whiskey, she was second team all district. Alexis Long was also second team all district. And Alyssa Barone, she was first team all district, academic all district, and academic all state. Jax was academic all district as well. So, we had a great year. This was my first year here with these girls, and I loved every bit of it. We finished the year 21-13, and we're district runner-ups. So a lot of good things are happening in this program, and we hope to continue to keep it going. Thank you.
All the way around.
Next, we're going to recognize the Bobcats from Central High School, led by C.J. Villegas.
All right, good evening. Thank you for having us. I apologize for my voice. We're in off-season basketball right now, so I've kind of lost it a little bit. But I'll introduce these guys here in a second. We finished with a 24-11 season record, fourth place, which got us fourth place in district. And we were in a very unique situation at the very end and had to play a few extra games. And these guys were able to pull it out, so credit to them. Qualified for the playoffs. This is our third year in a row, so some of these gentlemen were a part of that and have made it to the playoffs 3 years straight.
We have 6 seniors this year.
and we'll end up with 8 returners for next year. So we're super excited about the group that we have coming back. By district finalist, we lost to El Paso Eastwood in the first round. So that was kind of our season highlights. I'll go through and introduce these young men real quick with a few of their individual awards. We have a sophomore, number 0, Caleb Jordan. A sophomore, number 1, Edrin Green. A senior, number 12, Cooper Fitzgibbon. A senior, number 14, Michael Salazar. A junior, number 20, Colin Albright. Albright also received academic all-district, and he was named to the first team all-district. Next, we have a junior, Alex Sanchez, number 15. Alex Sanchez was also received academic all-district this year. Next, we have number 10, Hayden Schmidt. He's a junior. Hayden received honorable mention all-district this season, and then he was also placed on the academic all-district team. Number 21, Jaden Gibson. Jaden Gibson received second team all-district. And then we have another senior, DeAndre Young, and he received second team all-district as well. So, like I said, super excited about the group that we have returning. Some guys that obviously received academic all-district and all-district honors as well. And so we're excited for that. And it's really credit to our seniors as well for the job that they've done for our program these last 3 years. And like I said, all those guys are a big part of everything that's going on, and we're going to miss them dearly. So, credit to those guys. So round of applause, please, for these young men.
Next, we've got the Central Swim team, and what we're going to do is we're going to break it up a little bit because there's so many. So we're going to start out with the girls team, and the swimming team is led by Matt McLaughlin.
Thank you, SAISD board members and administration for having us here tonight. Tonight we have our regional finalists and seniors representing our team. I'm going to go through a couple of our season highlights and then just quickly introduce our swimmers here individually. This year we had an amazing season. The 1985 Central girls team won the regional swim meet. This year's team is better. This is the best Central girls team that we've ever had. They placed third at regionals behind 2 top 5 teams in Southlake, Carroll, and Keller High School. Starting at the beginning of the year, we were the most spirited homecoming parade float. We were Arlington Invitational team champions, Midland Invitational team champions, the San Angelo ISD team champions, and then we were second at the Hobbs meet and Lubbock Invitational. These girls placed first at the District 2-6A meet, winning back-to-back championships, and then again we were third at regionals. They set 5 school records this year, 1 pool record and 1 district record, and added 24 times to the all-time top 10 list. Starting on this side, we have Elsa Reel, freshman, state qualifier, first team all region, first team all district. Next to her is Peyton Brandt, regional consolation finalist. Next to her, Riley Bozer, regional consolation finalist. Next, Mallory Manning, first team all region, first team all district. Next, Zoe Moore, first team regional consolation finalist. Next, Sophia Blastic, regional consolation finalist. Next, Clara Cotton, second team all region. After that, Salma Hernandez, second team all region, first team all district. After that, Emma Watkins, school record holder 200 freestyle, first team all district, first team all region. After that, Camila Acevedo, school record holder 200 medley relay, first team all district, second team all region. After that, Paula Brame, first team all district, second team all region. Next, our seniors. Haley Edinburgh has been a four-year manager for me and has done great. After that, Whitney Edinburgh, a four-time school record holder and first team all district, first team all region. And then Alina Robleski, first team all district and four-year letter winner. And then Haley, finishing up with Haley Robleski, our Hollins Award winner and regional consolation finalist, second regional consolation finalist. And this is our girls swimming team. Thank you again for all your support, and we hope to have your support in the future. And this is our boys team. Before I get started on them, are the honors that the first team all district and second team all district and all that. If a swimmer is placed in the 1 through 3 at district and regionals, they are first team. If they're 4 through 6 at district or regionals, they are second team. And if they are placed 7th or 8th at district or regionals, they are honorable mention. Our boys season highlight, again, full of lots of successes. We were, as a team award, the homecoming most spirited float. The boys were also team champions at the Arlington Invitational, the Midland Invitational, and tied for first place at the San Angelo Invitational. And they were second at the Lubbock Invite. These boys placed first at the District 26A meet, capturing their 13th title in a row, and placed 9th at regionals out of 28 teams. They also added 2 times to the top 10, all-time top 10 list, starting with our freshman here, Cody Williams, second team regional consolation finalist. Calvin Cartwright, regional consolation finalist. James Ford, regional consolation finalist. Fisher Russworm, regional consolation finalist. Aiden Morales, second team all region, first team all district. Earl Childs, second team all region, first team all district. Tristan Thompson, second team all Region First Team All District. James Parks, Regional Consolation Finalist. Cole Janot, my seniors, Cole Janot, James is also a senior. Cole Janot, Regional Consolation Finalist, First Team All District. Troy Davis, Regional Consolation Finalist, First Team All District. And Creed Thompson, our Hollins Award winner, Second Team All Region, First Team All District. Another great season. We continue to love and accept all y'all's support. Thank you, SASD board members, Mr. Waters, Coach Chant, for your continued support, and we'll see y'all next year. Picture first. Picture first.
Ms. Turk, are you good if I go ahead and start? Okay. Hi, board members and everybody in the room. I am Tiffany Huebner, the Director of Advanced Academics and Fine Arts, and we are here tonight to celebrate our All-State musicians. So before I introduce them and let them say a few words, I would like to brag on our strong music programs K through 12. When each student's introduced, I'm going to let you know what elementary school they went to, what middle school they went to, and what high school they went to, because we all know seeds are planted very young. So first I want to introduce Heidi Bundick. She played string bass in the All-State Band. This is her second consecutive year as an All-Stater, and she's only a junior. So we look for big things next year. She plays many instruments, by the way. She went to Bradford, Lincoln, and is now at Lakeview. She is here with Stephanie Infante, her orchestra teacher, and Mr. Bailey and Mr. Bailey are hiding in the audience, but they're here for big support too. So here's Heidi.
Sorry, I'm a little short. But as Ms. Huebner said, my name's Heidi Bundick. I'm a junior at Lakeview High School, and between the Lakeview Orchestra Band and Jazz Band, I played cello, double bass, electric bass guitar, percussion, and now euphonium, which is what I played downstairs for you all. I've been playing it for about 6 months, so sorry if it was a little dodgy. You can't begin to get into state without looking at the whole year of years of work that goes into just auditioning for region. I did 3 separate region auditions. I auditioned cello first, which I got 3rd out of 28. Then I auditioned euphonium. My first year ever, I got 8. I advanced to area on cello, and then I got 8th on euphonium and qualified for area, and then I got 1st on bass and advanced to area. And then from there, I qualified for state on bass for my 2nd year. And so the amount of satisfaction and just gratification you get from just being at state after working so hard all year just to get to that point. It's just incredible. And so being in San Antonio for my second year, the experience was so much better because I was more familiar with the whole process, and so I was able to do a lot more things, meet a whole lot more people. Once I go to ASU, I want to be a music educator just like all the other teachers that have inspired me over the years. Even starting in elementary school with Miss Gretchen Smith, who is now at Glenn Middle School for orchestra. I just, music's my whole thing. It's what I love to do. And so I play second chair at state. And so because of that, I got to meet the first chair, who was a 4-year All-Stater. And I got a lot of good advice for being a bassist in a wind ensemble as opposed to being a bassist in an orchestra. And so it's getting perspectives like that from people, peers, college students, other teachers, other professors. It's something you really can't get anywhere else. And it's something I am so extremely grateful for, to be an all-state student, especially my second year, and especially only being a junior. So it's something I'm grateful for every day, but I really do owe it all to my teachers, especially Miss Infante, who welcomed me with open arms after not playing cello for like a year and a half because I had to quit. And so it's just things like that where I want to give to future students what my teachers give to me every day, which is kind, compassionate inspiration. So it's stuff like TMEA, all-state, region auditions, area auditions. It's just everything that helps me build up to be the teacher that I want to be. So thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. All right, our next All-Stater is Mia Wilcox. Mia played the flute in the All-State Band. This is her first year. She's a junior, and she attended Bonham, Lone Star, and now CHS. Mr. Jason Jones, the director of the Central Band, is here with her as well.
Hello, my name is Mia Wilcox. I'm a junior at Central, as you just heard. I've been doing band since 6th grade. I've always participated in the region things, and I found them very fun and competitive. It motivated me. My sophomore year, I was very close to making All-State, I think 1 chair away, and that just made me want to make it even more. And this year, my junior year, I placed first in the area and qualified to make All-State, and that experience was just amazing. I really loved it. And I'm so excited to try to do better next year, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mia. All right, our next up is Lauren Ochoa. Lauren plays the clarinet in the All-State Band. This is her 3rd consecutive year. She is a senior. She played in Santa Rita. She went to Santa Rita, Lone Star, and CHS. And I have to add something right here. I got to watch Mia and Lauren play in their All-State, in the All-State Band. I'm pretty sure it was the Lauren Mia show is really what it was. Really, it was awesome.
Hello, thank you for having me. I got to go to state for the 2nd time this year, and it was one of the most incredible experiences musically I've ever had. I got to enjoy having a director who was a clarinet himself, and so that was nice, getting techniques to learn from him and enjoy that. And as opposed to last year it was incredible just getting to be in the band. I was 12th chair in the concert band, and this year I was first chair in the concert band, and it was so much more incredible getting to go through a future music educator perspective, because now going to ASU this coming year, I'm excited to join the music education program, and so going to state and learning about how an ensemble works and how all these talented musicians fits in together really is going to help me pursue my career going forth. Thank you for having me.
She's being a little bit modest. She had a solo on every single song with the All-State Band, so it was pretty incredible.
All right, thank you, Lauren. All right, our next up is Merritt Shelton. He sings tenor bass for the All-State Choir. This is his first year. He's only a sophomore, and he attended Glenn and CHS. He was out of state for elementary. He got here as soon as he could. So here you go, Merritt. Sunday Vaught is here with him. She's the choir director.
Like she said earlier, my name's Merritt Shelton. I get the privilege and honor to say that I got to be a part of the TTBB All-State Choir this year. If we want to go really in depth, my choral performances have been traced throughout this past 2 years. I came close last year, and that's really what fueled me with the determination to continue and get to be an All-Stater this year. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Merritt. Our other choir director is Landon Gilmore, and he's not here tonight because he's singing at Carnegie Hall in New York. So, could be why our program's pretty good. Okay, so our next up is Greg Fott. He plays the string bass in All-State Orchestra. This is his second consecutive year. He's a senior, and he attended Bowie, Glenmore, and CHS. He is joined by Emily Hall-Rocha, who is his orchestra director.
Hello, I'm Greg Fott, and this was my second year in the All-State Orchestra. Last year I was first chair in the Sinfonietta Orchestra, which is the lowest orchestra, and this year I was first chair in the Symphony Orchestra, which is the top orchestra. And I never expected to get this far. Even a couple months ago, I didn't think I was going to make it even into the top orchestra, but the level was, there's a huge difference in the level between the orchestras, and I was really nervous when I first got there because I had to lead the best bass section in the state, but it went well and they were all nice. I was really glad to meet all of them. I'd like to thank my teachers, Ms. Rocha and Mr. Martin, for helping me throughout the years. They got a really nice bass in my 9th grade year, and it helped me a lot. It made a real difference. And I also got lessons with a professor at Texas Tech. His name is Mark Morton. And so I'll be going to Texas Tech next fall and studying with him for my undergrad music performance. Thank you.
Ms. Turk, may I interject a comment real quick?
Absolutely.
And also, Ms. Hebner, if I just want to again thank you, and if you'll please pass on these words. I know not only from our administrative staff but from our board team as well. Those were incredible speakers. I mean, just their public speaking ability, and then their delightful personalities. They just are delightful people and just remarkable musicians. So to all of our music educators and Tiffany and others involved, thank you for sharing them with us, and I just want to thank our students for sharing their talents with us. That's just an incredible start to the week, and we just continue to celebrate all the ways our gifted and unique students are smart in SAISD. So thank you all for sharing.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Parker, Dr. Detloff, and members of the board. Tonight, San Angelo ISD celebrates school counselors and the vital role they play in the lives of our students as they work to realize their hopes and dreams. Our 39 school counselors are dedicated to creating comprehensive counseling programs that are proactive, responsive, and empower all students by guiding them through times of needs and celebrating all the ways our students are smart. We are thankful for each of our school counselors for being shining examples of how, at SAISD, our people make the difference. These recognitions are just the start of the great things happening due to our SAISD counselors. We are so proud to recognize 3 of our outstanding SAISD counselors who are honored as Counselor of the Year at the Three Rivers Counseling Association. Congratulations to Ashley McDonough of Glenmore Elementary, winner of the George Pilar Elementary School Counselor of the Year Award, Erica De La Garza of Lincoln Middle School, winner of the George Pilar Middle School Counselor of the Year Award, and Rachel Gondar of Lakeview High School, winner of the George Pilar High School Counselor of the Year Award. Additionally, we celebrate Ms. Gondar and Dr. LeMaster for being named the Rosine Fleming Award Secondary Counselor of the Year and Campus Administrator of the Year by the Texas School Counselors Association for their significant contributions to the field of counseling. It is dedicated staff like these individuals who exemplify how our people make the difference. We are so privileged to have them on our team. Please join me in celebrating their honors. At this time, if all of you could come up to the front, we'd love to take a photo with you and Dr. Detloff. It's beautiful. If you'll go around and shake hands, that'd be great. And thank you for all y'all do, and congratulations on your awards. Well deserved. You may see a few of these faces again here in a second. They're pretty outstanding. We are so proud to recognize our Lincoln Middle School, Lone Star Middle School, and Lakeview High School counselors who received the distinct honor of being awarded the Counselors Reinforcing Excellence for Students in Texas, or CREST Award for Excellence in Counseling. To receive a CREST Award, schools must demonstrate a commitment to improving the lives and achievement of students in academic, career, and personal social domains through a comprehensive school counseling program that is innovated and based on campus needs. Please join us in congratulating and thanking our outstanding CREST Award winners, Lincoln Middle School counselors Erica De La Garza and Beth Makeda. For the second year, Lone Star Middle School counselors Justin McClure, Michael O'Brien, and Amber Garza. And Lakeview High School counselors Jennifer O'Donnell, Rachel Gondar, Jenny Rupert, Stacy Riddle, and retired counselor Diana Treadway. This time, could you please come forward for a photo? If y'all will go around and shake hands. Absolutely.
I just want to point out to the board and to the administrative team that this is an honor for us, but we would not be able to have gotten this award if we didn't have the support of our campus level administrators. And so I want to thank them and just wanted to point that out.
You didn't shake hands.
And Dr. Gomez, as our counselors and staff are transitioning, again, I'm not going to let you out of the room just yet. I just want to recognize completely the complexity involved in counseling with public schools and with our school-age youth the last 3 years. It's complicated. It's gut-wrenching. They put their hearts and souls into all they do for kids, and the complexity has increased twofold in the last 3 years, if not more. And so I just want to recognize they are building relationships and advocating for kids, and they do that daily. And I think what we don't recognize is all the preventative measures that they make hour by hour, day by day. We heard our pastor indicate the horrific tragedy in Nashville earlier. Our counselors, our staff are preventing events every hour of the day by building relationships and advocating for kids and working through difficult, extremely challenging family situations. So I just want to recognize our staff and counselors for what they do, because times are challenging, but at the same time, they are lifting kids up on a daily basis, and that's what it's all about. So thank you all, and we appreciate you.
We also thank their family who joined this evening. We know oftentimes they miss out from them serving, so thank you all for being here with them this evening. Well, Mr. Parker, Dr. Detloff, and members of the board, at this time we're recognizing our communications team. So I don't know if Jack can step away from the back, because he's usually running things back there. He's giving me the thumbs up, so I believe that means he can. The SAISD communications team, including communications specialist Jack Wilcox and executive director of communications Molly Johnson-Turk, were honored with multiple awards by the Texas School Public Relations Association, TSPRA, at the annual conference on February 22nd, 2023. TSPRA is a nonprofit professional organization dedicated to promoting public schools through effective communications. With more than 900 members, TSPRA is made up primarily of public information and communication professionals who serve the public school districts and education organizations of Texas. Awards received this spring include 7 Gold Stars. Gold Stars awards for Career and Technical Education, CTE Flyer. Gold Star Award for Lone Star Middle School logo. Gold Star Award for Military Family Homecoming Video, General Event. Gold Star Award for Young Adults Grow Valuable Skills in SAISD 18+ Vocational Program Video Feature Story. Gold Star Award for Celebrating All the Ways Students Are Smart Video, Promotional. Gold Star Award for Military Family Homecoming Photo, Other Subjects, and Gold Star Award for Lone Star Middle School logo and identity package. 2 Silver Awards, 3 Crystal finalists, and 2 Best of categories for Lone Star logo and Bel Air Military Family Homecoming. The communication team serves as a connection between the school district and our community, facilitates effective communications between school staff, administrators, the Board of Trustees, students, parents, and community members. They support district initiatives and community engagement through management and coordination of communications. At SAISD, the communication team works to help our students achieve their individual hopes and dreams. They focus their work on celebrating our students in that journey and lift up our difference maker staff who impact the lives of the children we serve while telling the narrative of the district. We appreciate Jack, Molly, and Alba's outstanding work in helping to tell the stories as they lift up all the great things that happen on a daily basis in SAISD. Jack and Molly, if you would please come forward, and Dr. Detloff, if you too would please come forward. While they normally work their magic behind the scenes, we love to showcase them up front. After we get this photo, we have one final announcement. Soon, if you could stay up there and turn around and face the front as well. We would also like to formally welcome Soon Cha, the newest member of their team who joined March 1st as Director of Community Relations. So if all of you would please give a round of applause for our amazing SAISD communication team. All right, now you guys know the drill. If you would please come around and shake hands.
All right. Jack, you're back and ready? All right. Now we'll start going through our regular agenda. We have minutes that we need to approve from February 13, 2023 pre-agenda workshop and February 27, 2023 our regular board meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Move to approve. Oh. Second.
All right, I've got Mr. Dindal with the motion and Mr. Gago with the second. Is there any other board discussion? Any public comment on this? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. Motion passes. As I mentioned in my script earlier, this is now the time for public comments for topics not on the agenda for this meeting. I don't have anybody that signed in. I don't see anyone coming forward, so we'll move on to our report section. Mr. Henry.
Dr. Detloff, Mr. Parker, members of the board, tonight we have R.J. Lopez with Park Hill Architecture Firm, and he's here to discuss our sustainability plan.
Hello, President Parker, Dr. Detloff, and school board. It's great to be back out here. I really thought our presentation would be one of the more exciting speeches tonight, but after those, the junior bassist, that was just amazing to hear those. Very eloquent and going to make an amazing teacher. Yeah, that's correct. So I think Alan Wolf last week discussed the next steps in the sustainability plan, which is actually getting the plan in action, which is pretty exciting. We have the approved master plan for 2024 to 2025 shown here. Phase 1 of that plan happens in 2024 to 2025 to expand McGill, to merge Austin, and then repurpose or close Austin. And the second part of that phase 1 plan is to expand Fannin, to merge Altaloma, and repurpose or close Altaloma. And so with that, we've started actually working on plans for those school expansions. The first one we'll start with is Fannin Elementary School. To accommodate the students, we will be adding additional classrooms on the newer classroom wing. Pointer might not work there, but on the right-hand side of the building, we would just be extending that main hallway of the newer addition to add those classrooms, restrooms, and then a connector hallway. We would also be adding a new drop-off, parent drop-off and pickup drive, along with a new parking lot to handle the additional students and parents. Zooming in, you can see the classrooms would all be around a collaboration space that would allow teachers and students access to a little bit larger hallway where they can have pull-outs and be able to accommodate student needs and teacher needs a little bit better than just your traditional hallway space would be able to. You can see that the connector hallway in the middle there separates the existing Fannin Elementary School from the new wing down there on the bottom right-hand side. You can see the existing gymnasium on the top right there, but we were able to add it on quite nicely and still stick with the overall feeling of the existing elementary school for this phase of the addition to accommodate the additional students. All right, and the next project would be McGill Elementary additions. This one's a little bit larger, and the addition occurs in that space there on the left-hand side of the screen, across from the parking lot, next to the existing gym. can see we would add additional parking spaces, administration spaces, classroom, dining, kitchen. There's a long list of items that we would be adding there to accommodate the newly expanded population of McGill Elementary, along with new parking, new drop-off drive to improve the circulation at the campus for both pedestrians and vehicles. So that was phase 1 at McGill. The next slide shows phase 2, which would be the completely expanded campus in the future. And that shows additional spaces such as a library, expanded administration, and then additional drop-off, pickup, and parking spaces. So although we're just doing phase 1 now, we want to make sure that we're planning for the full build-out in the future. And then actually, we've actually even planned for removing some of the classroom buildings towards the back of the campus and adding those to the main campus as part of a phase 3 full build-out that would allow all of the classrooms, or a majority of the classrooms, to be under one roof, accessible from inside the building. And this would reduce the amount of students walking outside between spaces during the day. So trying to get as many students under one roof as possible during the school day. The overall schedule would be Fannin. We're actually receiving proposals March 30th for the Fannin edition. So we should be starting construction pretty soon on Fannin Elementary, with potentially awarding the project by April and starting construction in May. McGill Elementary, with it being a larger project, will bid out in May and hopefully start seeing some construction towards the end of summer. So we've been planning for a long time, and now we're starting to see some potential projects get out of the ground. So starting to get pretty exciting and pretty real. Start accommodating these students the best way possible. I think that's all that I have for the sustainability plan. Any questions?
Board members, any questions for Mr. Lopez? It's not like we don't see you, you know.
Hopefully we're already answering them,
we
but
get to know you well, but thank you for being here.
my pleasure.
All right, we've received information about our student enrollment. I don't know if you have anything else, Dr. Brandon, you wanted to offer on that, and update on academic programs, board goal 1, student engagement. Dr. Gomez, do we have anything on that, or are you going to go to the taper report?
We're going to start with academic program updates.
Okay, good.
For the first one, I get you have your homework for this whole.
I've read that. You sent it over this afternoon. I've got it.
Kind of not. Real comfortable. Have everything. All right. Mr. Parker, Dr. Detloff, and members of the board, for this evening's academic programs update, we'll first start with pre-K and where pre-K will be housed for the 2023-2024 school year. Next school year, pre-K will be housed, regular pre-K will be housed on 4 campuses. This will include Bel Air, Glenmore, Goliad, and San Jacinto. On all of these campuses, there will be pre-K pods with a minimum of 3 pre-K classes on each one of these campuses. In addition to regular pre-K based on regular criteria that has to be met based on the state, SAISD will also offer for the first time tuition-based pre-K based on a lottery system. We will share more information because when a district offers tuition-based pre-K, you are limited to a number of seats that you can offer. As you recall, because you all approved this, with this school year, it was the first year for the district to offer, as a retention strategy based on your board goals, childcare for our staff. So we've had staff with their own children in our childcare from infants to 3 years old. The state requires you, if you offer a tuition-based pre-K, that it cannot be limited to just staff. So therefore, you have to have the ability to have a lottery system so it can be for anyone that could pay on a tuition-based rate. So this next year, we will have regular pre-K and then pre-K for tuition based on those lottery seats. Okay? Also, in regards to pre-K, this does apply, but it pertains specifically to the district's bilingual magnet program. This year, the district's bilingual magnet program was pre-K through 2nd grade. For the 23-24 school year, it will expand through 3rd grade and will be housed exclusively at Bradford Elementary. It will be grades pre-K through 3rd grade. Additional special programs updates for early childhood education and functional academics. So in regards to early childhood special education, this is where inclusion of children with special education needs, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, and 5-year-olds need interaction with their peers that are not served in special education. So we will have those students in the 3s, 4s, and 5s placed on the campuses where we have pre-K pods, specifically at the campuses that I've already named, at Bel Air, Goliad, and San Jacinto. And then Reagan already houses our functional academics classrooms. When placing specialized programs, a district must be careful to not overload too many special programs on any one campus, especially campuses with very small numbers, because then that places a very heavy load on teachers' plates. So functional academics will remain at Reagan with 1 early childhood special education 5-year-old class. We have numbers that shows students that are in the functional academics classrooms. The goal is to see which is the appropriate path for those students to remain in a specialized program, or if those students need to go in a general education classroom with peers and special ed support. And about 1/3 of those students come out of the specialized program into a general ed classroom with special ed support. So that's why Reagan will have both the functional academics classroom and 1 early childhood special ed classroom for 5s. So if they do need the path where they can stay in special ed with support in the regular classroom, we have both options at Reagan. Okay? In terms of functional academics, for the specialized support, it will be housed at Lamar and Reagan. In addition to those programs being placed on those 2 campuses, we have auxiliary staff who the home campus is typically Sam Houston, but we also contract with staff from other places, such as West Texas Rehab right here across the street, that provide services. So having those two campuses, we're able to better streamline the staff that come in and provide support, such as speech services, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and so forth. Other updates include our Tiny Texans child care that we just mentioned. This year was our first year to provide that for our staff. We had one location. We'll be expanding to 3 sites. We will keep Tiny Texans at Crockett. We will also expand to Tiny Texans at San Jacinto with 4 classrooms. We will also expand Tiny Texans at Blackshear with up to 6 classrooms for our staff for infants through 3 years old. In addition, for our 18-plus vocational program, you heard the recognition this evening from our communications department, receiving recognition for an award they received. That program too is growing, so we will have additional space at the current PAYS location located right here at Knickerbocker for them to meet students' needs. And they will have one main entry. If you're familiar with our PAYS entrance, there are multiple doors. I believe it's 19. So for safety and security, we will have one controlled access point, which will be a front door which faces the Glen tennis courts. So that is an updated special programs academic report for the 2023-2024 school year.
I know I'll have some questions. Anyone else have questions?
2 questions. Where is tuition-based pre-K going to be housed?
It will be housed at every location that has regular pre-K.
Okay. And then next question, can we get that written down, all of what you just
Oh,
said?
absolutely. I'll give you a recap.
Thank you.
Farrah, will everyone, I guess when you said lottery, they'll have a lottery, well, is that just going to be for teachers, or is that going to be for
That's for
everyone
anyone that
apply-
wishes to
anyone
apply
that
for the
wishes-
tuition-based pre-K.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Explain to me, when you have regular pre-K and tuition-based pre-K, are only certain, is it based on low socioeconomic, or how do you get in for regular pre-K, and why do you need then tuition pre-K? Why is there a difference?
So for regular pre-K, there are criteria factors that have to be met, such as income. That's criteria. When a district offers both programs, a district must serve the students that meet the regular criteria, which we already have in place. And you don't deny a student that wants to pay for tuition-based pre-K. The reason why it's beneficial to have both is what we've discussed on multiple occasions, Mr. Parker. The sooner students are in our system, the sooner they're learning from qualified teachers. So we don't want to deny any student. We're not trying to take away from other entities in San Angelo, as we've discussed on multiple occasions. And the reason why the board went forward, not only for the board goal of a retention strategy for educators, this area has a long waiting list for staff childcare. And so what we know is the sooner we can get any student that is eligible to be in a school setting in our classroom doors, the sooner we can get them to be working on those very essential skills around literacy, mathematics, and just foundational learning. As we have discussed, we have facilities that are not at capacity. So while we have space, we want to maximize the space and get students in our rooms so that they can be young learners well on their way to be future-ready graduates. So that's why it's beneficial to have both. Now, also in a time when we're being just very aware of our financial state, with the tuition-based, we're not here to make a profit, but tuition-based does help us pay the salary of additional teachers so that we can fund the salary of the teachers needed to serve additional students that are not eligible for the criteria that the state says you need to serve based on the criteria of first language, socioeconomic status, military, and so on.
All right, so pre-K is 5 years old,
No, sir, it's 4.
4 years old, kindergarten's 5 year old?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tiny Texans,
Yes, sir.
we now have one location, you're gonna have more locations. And how many are we able to serve now, and how many do you expect we'll be able to serve?
Currently, we have 3 classrooms at Crockett. And just as a reminder for everyone, the origin of Tiny Texans was for our SAISD students that became parents themselves, with the primary goal of keeping them as students in our system so they could finish their school career. So when we came to you last year with this proposal, we had historical data of how many babies we had had over the course of the last 5 years and how many licenses we were permitted with for daycare, because it's a different organization that licenses us to keep these babies. And by babies, I'm literally speaking babies, infants through 3 years old, and we do have ratios of how many adults have to be caring for the babies. And so right now, we have 3 classrooms over at Crockett for infants up to 12 months, 18 months, all the way through 3-year-olds. We will be able to add 4 additional classrooms at San Jacinto and 6 additional classrooms at Tiny Texans at Blackshear. In addition, we've had conversations in our Career and Technical Education, or CTE program, for our own San Angelo ISD students who are seeking a pathway to either be future teachers or daycare workers themselves. We currently pay for their educational aid certificate. If they complete that coursework as part of their learning in our SASD classrooms, they can be part of our ratio in caring for those young babies. They can't be the teacher, but they can be part of the ratio as long as we have a certified educator in the classroom. And so not only does that help us with the ratio of caring for the babies, but it helps our students get their hours for that CTE pathway. So we're helping our students and we're helping our staff with the expansion of the staff child care option in the district.
One last question for me. Your early childhood special ed is 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and 5-year-olds, and you're trying to, I remember we talked about this before, you're trying to have some of those to be able to go inclusion. Do we have any pre-K that goes to 3-year-old, or will you have 3-year-olds? How would they be able to be included?
No, sir, we do not. We don't offer a 3-year-old pre-K program, which the state does not require that you do. But by having pre-K pods with more than 1 or 2 sections, then we are creating opportunities for students to have interaction with age-appropriate peers. What we specifically had to do, according to the state, was have a comparable program. When the district moved to a full-day 4-year-old pre-K program multiple years back, we did not make that same move for all of our early childhood 4-year-old programs, and that's what the state was saying we had to do. 3-year-olds do not do a full-day program, so we are fine with our 3-year-olds. And you can intermix 3s and 4s. Now, if you've ever spent time in a 3 and 4s combined classroom, that is a great opportunity. There is a significant difference developmentally in 3s and 4s. 4s and 5s, that works. 3s and 4s, significant opportunities is what we'll say. So this, the formation of pre-K pods where we have a minimum of 3 classes on those campuses, it allows for inclusion opportunities without too many students in a regular pre-K classroom where we only had 1 or even 2 sections. It made for a very heavy load on teachers' classes where they had already 18 to 22 general education students. So if you added anywhere from 6 to 8 special education students in that classroom, it was a very heavy load.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I had just one more on back to Tiny Texans. Will our students still be able to use that program?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I
So
wanted to
in
ask.
the
So
expansion, what always stays front and center is the available slots for our students. So the PAYS program, so that they have additional room for expansion to meet those students' needs first, would also be housed on the Blackshear campus, and that's where our students in need of any child care assistance, where their own students would be served. And those students do not pay any price for their students to receive care. Yes, sir.
So, sorry, a couple more questions. Do we have the pre-K students' numbers to have 3 pods at each of those campuses currently?
We, for the additional classes that we are adding,
Yes.
for the pre-K tuition-based, we've had inquiry that supports adding tuition based on lottery. The classes for regular pre-K support enrollment from this year. As we've discussed multiple times, why the decrease in enrollment in pre-K and kinder coming during COVID and coming out of COVID, we have seen a decline in kind of the primary grades. So adding the tuition-based pre-K and having seats for that supports the inquiry, because we've had for a number of years parents calling and saying, well, we don't qualify for pre-K, but do y'all do tuition-based pre-K? We also have a list of surrounding districts in our area that have done tuition-based pre-K.
Sorry, more questions.
That's okay.
And just so when you talk about having 3 a pod that involves 3 classrooms, is that including students who are both qualified and tuition-based?
They're not separate classes, so
I get
no
that
one
part,
would
but
know
there's
the
3
difference.
3 classrooms total of all of that mixed together.
Correct.
Okay.
And there would be a minimum. So already with staffing-wise, at all campuses, there's a minimum of 3. Glenmore is already staffing for 4. And the reason why we're already staffing Glenmore for 4 pre-K classes is location right across from the base, and we always have a waiting list for pre-K classes at Glenmore. So no one would know if I walked in a pre-K classroom if Becky was a student in the pre-K program that met eligibility criteria, and Pam was a student in pre-K that was a tuition base. Just like when we serve general education students in a classroom and special education students in a classroom, and Shelley and Merle are 2 adults and they're serving, we don't know who the general education teacher is and the special education teacher.
Dr. Gomez, a couple more questions. On Tiny Texans, we're expanding that classroom base by 9 additional rooms. Our waiting list is significant on that, for that project?
Very significant. Okay. We could expand beyond that.
And are we taking students outside of our employees for that program?
No, sir.
No.
And that current expansion goes back to your board goal for professional staff. And I want to be very clear as why it's set around professional staff. As all of you believe and have articulated on so many occasions, our motto in SAISD is our people make the difference. We believe every employee, regardless of job title, makes the difference. If Pam is a 5th grade math teacher at Reagan Elementary, and we can't fill Pam's 5th grade math position, and we have a vacancy, and Max is a paraprofessional on that campus, and Max has to fill in that classroom, we've just put a load on Max's shoulder that he shouldn't have to carry. So not just because we have a vacancy in SAISD, but because we have a national teacher shortage, we are prioritizing the child care option as a retention strategy in SAISD to first start with professional staff.
Okay, and we think we're going to fill 9 more classrooms? Or
We,
close?
we've had
Or we
enough
can?
inquiry, yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Now, it is a time where filling positions of all kind from all job families, there's 5, they're embedded in my brain, has provided a lot of new opportunities. We've had great success with posting those in part-time. We can get individuals that will gladly come to work from 7 to 11 and 10 to 1 and 1 to 5 versus a full day work day. And we can fill positions in that manner versus what we used to do traditionally.
All right, makes sense. Thank you.
I have a few questions. And I'm sorry, I was taking notes when you were talking about the lottery, so you may have answered this. But so the lottery is are the teachers part of the lottery too, or the teachers automatically get a spot? Teachers
You
are part
can't
of the lottery?
automatically, so
Okay.
teachers would be part of the lottery.
Okay, thank you. And then, I don't know if you have numbers yet, but is the tuition going to be comparable to other tuition-based programs, or?
Yes, we do have a list of surrounding districts as well, but we have, through our research, as a reminder, for the employee benefit, because we did have to write that as part of our employee compensation, when you offer child care to your employees and you are below market rate, we have auditors who come in and review our finances. You have to show that is an employee benefit. Our current staff child care is 50% below market rate. So not only are we providing an opportunity in a market that is very difficult to find child care, you can talk to most anyone that is growing their family, and even before, they know they're calling to get on wait list. So we have the local daycares rates. Now, as I said, it will be different than our child care because there is a key difference, and that key difference is they will be receiving instruction. So we have that. And then again, we do have the rates of the surrounding districts that have been doing tuition-based pre-K. I want to be very clear though, our mission behind offering tuition-based pre-K is not to profit. It is to get young students in our classrooms to build literacy skills, to build math skills, and to get them engaged in the school setting at the earliest age possible. So we are lifting up the mission of SAISD to build future-ready graduates. While we have classrooms and we have space on our facilities, how can we think outside the box and do things differently? And this is a strategy in which we can take advantage.
Just a couple more questions. And you may not know this yet, but I know a lot of parents are struggling to pay childcare. So there's a childcare assistance called CCS. Do you know if we'll be accepting that?
That is an option when you do staff childcare. And so for our employees this year, because our rate was so significant, below market rate, our employees did not fill out the application. As we are expanding those additional classrooms next year, we will have all staff fill out the application. Now that's why our students, going back to Mr. Gallegos' question earlier, our students are automatic, and they do that. That's how there's no cost to them. We do have some staff that have more than one child currently in child care, so that is a significant benefit.
Okay. And then my last question. What age does Tiny Texans start? Does it start at
Infant.
birth? So birth, like right when they're, okay. Thank you, because I know so many child care programs start at like 5 months or
this
whatever,
might surprise you, this might not. Infants, there's a wait list all throughout town for infants. And then the next age where the wait list is 3-year-olds. Those are the 2 ages where the wait list is the most demanding.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm thinking on the flip side of this as a parent sending my child to this. So when you send your child to public school, you know that the adult in the room is certified. So what is the skill set of the certification of, the 5-year-old teacher, the 3-year-old? I don't quite know that.
So for our childcare staff, they have to meet licensing requirements. We actually bring them to work prior to our SAISD staff reporting. So currently, like this next school year, I'm going by the top of my head, I'm not looking at our calendar. I believe it's August 9th, if I'm correct. All staff reports. We bring them in 2 days in advance to prepare, so when all teachers report on contract, their rooms are set up and ready. And then you'll remember this, Ms. Duncan, we have a number of trade credits that all staff receive for professional learning. They too get those credits. But then they have licensing hours that they have to receive on top of that to be trained specifically to meet child care licensing. So they have all of the licensing requirements and all of the SAISD professional training. In regards to the 5-year-old, which for us would be, 5-year-old would be our regular program, but let's talk pre-K because there would be a big difference. Again, I'm not trying to speak of any other entity, but for our tuition-based pre-K, which some would qualify for on the lottery system if they don't meet criteria for regular eligible pre-K programs. One thing that could be different from other organizations throughout the community is their students would be served with a highly qualified, certified teacher, which not all pre-K programs, daycares in the community could say, just like not all private kindergartens, which some parents have to make the decision that is best for their family, and we understand that and we respect that, but in SAISD that is a requirement. Did that answer your question?
Yes, I think as a parent, well, two things. As a parent, if you're sending your child, I have 2 microphones. If you're sending your child to our district, we are going to be able to meet their needs. And if you're out there with that certification looking for something to do, we would love to have you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, I think that's all our questions on that particular. Are we through with that agenda item and ready to move on to the next report?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you have since you're up there, I mean, we have a Goodfellow report next, but I'm going to save that for Dr. Detloff in a few minutes and let you go on to your taper report if you want to go.
I was just giving y'all a break so y'all could study for your quiz. Just kidding. No? Oh, here we go. Okay, well, this serves as our public hearing, and this happens annually. It's the state of the district for the statistical status of our SAISD during the 2021-2022 school year. All of you do have this lovely binder, just has a few pages in it, to recap the major data points and allow districts to fulfill the public hearing notification requirements. As a reminder, this will be posted on the website. We do make this information readily accessible to individuals that would like a hard copy. They can request that from their campuses or from here at the administration building, but most access it through the website. I don't know why it's breaking each bullet, but that's okay. So in your binders there, you also have some tabs. We like to just meet everyone how they like to organize. Feel free to organize as best for you. What we first wanted to go through was the organization of the document. All kidding aside, it is organized into 8 major sections. The first one there being progress towards the goals that you all adopted towards House Bill 3. Then the next section and sections after that are kind of divided with those green or mint colored kind of tabs and sections there. So the next one is the PEAMS Financial Standard Report. Behind that, you have the district accreditation status, for which also goes into our special education determination status and the district performance report. Then behind that, you have the campus performance report and the campus performance objectives, which each campus puts in their campus improvement plans. And the next section, the green, is the report on our violent and criminal incidents. And every district in the state of Texas is required to have this same organization. Then our student performance in post-secondary institutions and college credits earned by our SAISD high school students. And then finally, because as we all know in education, we really love our terms. So you have a glossary to help you through. As we stated, this is published as a PDF for you. It does include a wide range of performance of students in each district in the state of Texas and each campus in the state. The performance is disaggregated by student groups, including ethnicity and socioeconomic status. So this is where you always hear the district and campuses talk about snapshot. This is where that comes from. And it gives you extensive information on school and district staff, programs, and student demographics. In this annual report, the very first section, and that is behind, I don't know, I like to tab this one. Section 1, it's kind of your cover page there. And it's going to give you the 2022 accountability ratings. And as a reminder, because it seems like a long time ago and the state changes things on us, for 2022, you could be rated as an A, B, C, or not rated, according to the Senate Bill 1365. That's reported for the district and for each campus. Then you receive the 2022 special education determination status, whatever that was, for the district and the campus. But it's only reported on that district determination. As we go through this, we will go over the districts specifically and talk in more detail. Shelley, are you going to come up for this next portion? We're going to kind of tag team because this is a lot. What really the purpose of this is not to go through a ton of numbers. It's just when you get this big binder to show you the format and show you that the state does this for each district and each campus the same way. Okay?
So I won't take a lot of time here because Dr. Gomez has already done a great job just kind of giving you the basics. But the purpose of some of these slides that we're going to go over together is just to help you understand, either as a member of the public or as school board members, how to look at and understand the report. So we chose for this presentation not to just pull out specific numbers and facts. Sometimes that's been presented to you, but rather just to show you what you're looking at as a whole. And then obviously we can always answer any questions that you have. So one of the things that is part of this section on student performance, section 1, all of that is an aggregate score of the whole district. It's looking at all the different programs of the district. So one of the things it's going to show you are our performance rates. So the performance rates on the STAR test are approaches grade level, meets grade level, or master's grade level. And those are reported for each assessment. They're reported for all grades and subjects and all grades by subject. So one of the things just to notice when you're looking at those percentages, because those percentages don't add up to 100. That's because that anyone who masters grade level, their percentage is also going to be reflected in the masters, and in the meets and in the approaches. Because if you mastered it, that means that you also approached and met. So that's one of the things that is sometimes confusing when people look at performance rates. And then what you're going to see is, then this is part of why this is such a massive document, it's going to give you that for each assessment. So it's going to give you 4th grade math scores by meets, masters, and approaches. It's going to give you 5th grade math scores, but then it will give you 7th grade ELA and 8th grade ELA. Then it's going to combine subjects together, so all the math scores in the whole district are combined together. All the reading scores in the district are combined together. So that's what those performance rates are about. One thing to also help with an understanding is that one of the things that's most widely reported is academic growth, and that's something that we're always looking at very carefully. But the academic growth report for this TAPER report is difficult because it's a year-by-year growth. So 1920, we would have had growth, except we didn't take the STAR test in 20. And then we took it in 21, but it was only for the students that were here. Some of our virtual students were given the opportunity to take it, but their percentage rates of participation wouldn't have necessarily been as high. So we have academic growth reported from 21, 22, but it's going to look different from the 22-23 school year because those will be the first 2 years that we've had high participation rates last year and then this year. And then the growth reports are only calculated if there's a subsequent test that follows. So in reading, it's only 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 3rd grade doesn't have a growth report because it's their first year. And then English 1 doesn't have a growth report because that's a new test, and so it's only English 2. So that's showing you the places where you'll actually see academic growth reported, and the fact that it couldn't be calculated accurately previously. This report also will give you information on bilingual education and English as a second language. So you'll see STAR performance for students that are identified as EB, emergent bilingual, or as English learners. STAR participation rates are in there. That's basically how many students were eligible to take the test that actually took the test, which in San Angelo is very high. It gives you attendance, graduation, and dropout rates, and it's reported for 2021 and 1920. Again, obviously, the disruption in testing and just the disruption in school had something to do with some of those. And so then it's listing all the different kinds of attendance rates because even graduation rates, it's not just how many kids graduated in 4 years, but there's longitudinal data. How many did we get in the 5th year and in the 6th year?
Shelley,
Yes.
real quick, what's a I can never even say
longitudinal graduation rates.
What is that?
So that's taking into account, for example, students who didn't graduate, didn't go all the way through in 4 years, but maybe took an additional year in order to graduate. Also taking into account that you have students that begin getting credits for graduation prior to their 9th grade year, so it just extends that all the way through. And that's the same with our graduation rates. And then there's a graduation profile in there that gives you a profile of what those 2020, 2021 graduates look like. It also has information on our CCMR, College Career Military Readiness, and you know, if you've been following the things that are happening in the legislature right now, that's a big, huge topic because the recommendations are to change the way that we have reported CCMR. making it much more difficult for our students in high school to get CCMR credit, which means it will affect campus ratings and overall district ratings. But CCMR is in there also. The CCMR indicators, TSIA, those are tests to see who's college ready. So you have to pass a TSIA test in order to take, for example, a dual credit class. Are you ready? Our Career Tech Ed coherent sequence, so that is entering into a CTE program and following a coherent sequence through so that your classes build on each other. For example, to get certification, talks about credit for college prep courses, our AP, IB results, and SAT, ACT results. All of that is in there for your reading pleasure as well. And then there are some other post-secondary indicators, our advanced dual credit course completion, which again is really great in SAISD. Our graduates, they are tracking even things like how many of our graduates enroll in higher education. Those rates are in there. And then how many that enroll in higher education get to enroll in a college without taking developmental courses. So they're tracking everything. But lots of things in there for you. And then one of the things is that some of that data is what we call lag data. It follows, it's 2 years behind. So the most recent data we have is 2021 school year. And those measures are always going to be lag data. And our student information, there's all kinds of things in there. If you want to know what's our percentage of socioeconomic, what is our percentages by ethnicity, what are our percentages of students with disabilities, all that information is in there as well. The same is broken down for our staff demographics. You can see our staff information also by ethnicity, by their degrees held, by their years of experience, all of that is in there as well. And then there's some program information. How many students are in special ed? How many in our emergent bilingual? How many in CTE? All of those percentages are in there as well. And Dr. Gomez is going to take back over to kind of give you the end. So what we were doing here, again, is just showing you what is in there and how to read it, but we're able at any time to give you specific information. It's a lot, we know, but it's here for you.
Shelley, yeah. I may have misunderstood, but did you say when the growth, that you can't track growth English 1 because
Because the test is completely different, or has been, from what 8th grade reading is to what the English 1 EOC.
Okay.
Because prior to that, 8th grade was just a reading test, and the EOC is a combination of a writing test, a grammar test, and a reading test as well. So that wasn't a good growth measure between those two.
Right, okay. I think that, I wanted you to clarify that in case, parents are listening, because I think that's, most people don't know that. They just
Right.
think it's English, 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 English. But there is a big difference between the two tests.
Yes, ma'am. And the test is changing again now, so that even this year now with elementary and middle school tests, they're an integrated type of test.
So as Shelley said, that's why we just wanted to give you the recap of what was in there. So that was for the district, and then that section 2 gives all that same information, but for each individual campus, and that's why it's such a huge document. And then we just close with a recap with what we've already shared with you for the district information and how our overall rating was a B. And in regards to special education, our determination status is needs intervention, and why we have adjusted resources in the area of special education as we have, including additional information that you will continue to hear us talk about, specifically around professional learning, specific to leadership and ongoing professional learning for staff, which sometimes people will assume, well, for special education teachers. No, it's for staff, regardless if they're in the general education classroom or the special education classroom. And it's not just because we're picking that topic, it's because the evidence here and our students in that special program needing further assistance. And that's just kind of the recap of the TAPER report as a whole.
Any other questions? Board members, there will be a test on this, you know. All right. Are you through on that portion? Okay. We had a report, partnership with Goodfellow Air Force Base. Dr. Dedloff had something he wanted to add to that.
Yes, sir. Mr. Parker, members of the board, just a very quick update regarding our excellent partnership with Goodfellow Air Force Base. Last week on Tuesday, we continue to not only support our Chamber of Commerce, but our Goodfellow Air Force Base as well. Goodfellow was up with our Chamber Speaker Series, and so Colonel Ryleman provided the Chamber luncheon background on and partnerships with Goodfellow. One of our own trustees, Amy Mazzell Flint, also provided the invocation that day. So we continue to work with Goodfellow in many ways. They highlighted our programs with Goodfellow Air Force Base and Starbase, and we will continue to return that favor in the summer months when we present at the Chamber too. So we continue to have a very high quality and effective relationship with Goodfellow. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Detloff, and thank you, Amy, for representing us there. All right, going on now, we're have consent items. We have consent items that we need to approve, A through G, unless anyone wants to pull any of these off. These are items that we discussed last week and placed on our consent agenda. A is consider proposed amendment for district's official budget. B, consider approval of quarterly investment report for February 28, 2023. C, consider approval of new investment officer for San Angelo ISD. D, consider approval of new authorized representative for investment pools. E, consider order declaring cancellation of Board of Trustees election for single-member districts 5, 6, and the at-large position on May 6th. F, consider superintendent's recommendations for 2023 and 2024 administrators' contracts. And G, consider bid number 23-002 trade bids. Do I hear a motion to approve? All right, then I've got Ms. Duncan has made a motion to approve. Is there a second? And Mr. Gagos has seconded it. Any other board discussion on the consent items? Any public comment? If not, all in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Motion passes. Consider bills, accounts, and financial statements for February 2023.
Still,
You need your
do
microphone.
we get the administrator update that we just voted on? They were emailed on Friday fax? No, they were emails when I sent it. With the board report. With a separate email. Board agenda today, yeah. Sorry. But it's not on our web-based one. Right, it was not part of the board package. Sorry, that's why I didn't say anything. I apologize. Okay. Number 9 is bills, accounts, and financial statements. I'll make a motion to approve the bills and accounts and financial statements from February of 2023. As just a reminder, all these were gone over at our pre-agenda meeting, and all of our bills and accounts, including our checkbook, are available on the website under district and financial transparency.
Second.
There's been a motion by Dr. Kingman, a second by Mr. Dindal. Is there any other board discussion on this item? Is there any public comment? If not, all in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Motion passes. Mr. Henry, you're up. Consider bid number 23-005, communication platform.
Dr. Detloff, members of the board, thank you for having me here tonight. Tonight I bring bid number 23-005, communications platform, forward to you. The Communications Department saw a need to improve communications between the district, educators, staff, and parents. They began researching to see what kind of functions were needed and available. An RFP was posted for companies who do this type of specialized service. An extensive questionnaire was created to ensure the services needed were included. 5 quality submissions were received. These were narrowed to 3 to interview. After interviews, the bids were scored and ClassTag received the highest score. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Molly Turk to explain some of the ins and outs of the communication.
Thank you, Jason. Mr. Parker, Dr. Detloff, and members of the board, in order to streamline, standardize, and achieve industry standard within our communications efforts from the district office to the classroom teacher, San Angelo ISD is seeking a new unified communications platform to keep parents and guardians informed and encourage greater engagement and connection with San Angelo ISD in our schools. The tools should provide a safe and effective way for district administrators, school principals, teachers, staff, and parents to communicate through a mobile app, text messaging, email, and voice messaging. Currently, the district, campuses, and teachers use a mix of parent communication applications, including some of which are free but solicit funds from parents, and some of which the campus pays for. Through one communications platform for everyday and emergency communications across all campuses, classrooms, and the districts, we have the opportunity to expand our reach through features such as seamless, cascading district, school, and classroom communications, text messaging, email, voice messaging, and app notifications, which users can select their communication preferences, including deliverability method and time. Emergency notifications that override preferences to ensure quick, accurate information through a multitude of channels. Mobile app available on any device and access through a web browser. District, school, and classroom-wide announcements, events, and calendars. Two-way communication to connect the school to home. Automatic translation in 100+ languages, including two-way translation. Event sign-up and RSVPs for supplies and parent contributions. And parent-teacher conferences with smart reminders. Guardians are automatically connected to the district, campus, and classroom through a simple integration with our student information system, meaning parents will not need to take any action to receive our emails, texts, and voice messages. We will encourage families to take the next step to connect to their classroom, campus, and the district by downloading and utilizing the application. Through a simple, familiar interface similar to social media, we can create announcements as posts, which will show in the app and are automatically sent out via every channel. Austin Elementary is already using ClassTag on their campus. Ms. Colin Box shared with us a few thoughts on her year of using the platform. Here are her words. After making the switch from ClassDojo to ClassTag this year, we are so happy. ClassTag is accessible for all of our parents by offering them the availability to receive messages and information in their home language. It also allows us to track participation and see which families are engaging with our announcements/messages. If families show as unreachable or unresponsive, our service worker connects with them to see how we can help keep them informed. ClassTag is user-friendly and allows us to do so many things that we were previously using a multitude of programs for. We can send out priority announcements quickly that go directly to the communication method that parents have chosen. We can set up parent-teacher conference times for signups. We can create lists of supplies for parents to sign up to send. These features have made it quicker and easier on teachers. The video training has made it easy for teachers to transition and learn the platform. A big benefit of moving ClassTag to the district level was the fact that data services will be involved. ClassTag's ability to connect with our system and pull in information and keep the contact information current will be so helpful. It won't fall on the administrator or the teacher to create or delete accounts as students transition between schools. Communication department feels a unified communications platform is what is best for the district to continue to provide our students, families, staff, and community with opportunities to effectively connect and engage with the district through innovative, user-friendly technology. Do you have any questions?
Did you have a chance to check with other administrators or other than just Austin to make sure other campuses are going to feel like, it sounds like to me it's a great deal, but I'm not.
Yes,
I'm not using what we're doing now because I don't have any children in the school right now. So
Right.
I'm not familiar. I know my daughter has children, my grandchildren are there. I think their communication is much different now than what it was a few years ago when my kids were in school, and I know it's changing rapidly. But anyway, did you have it? I know last week you were going to do some more checking, so what did you find out?
Yes, so we did inform all of our principals as well as our district leaders that this was coming and that we would be speaking about it at the board meeting. We received a lot of positive comments. Joe Gondar pulled me aside last week to tell me how great of an option he thought this was for his campus. Ms. Ginger Luther of Bonham mentioned that although she is a big Class Dojo user, that she's excited for this to come. We had great comments from Zach Ramirez as well. So it's great that we had all levels be positive about this change.
And Molly, you told us last week, but just for our viewers, they're going to be able to use this for sports teams, band, orchestra, other groups, not just the classroom. So even on our secondary and middle school campuses, this will be an effective tool as well.
That's correct. So the application has the ability to create groups outside of just bringing in their classroom groups. So we can create groups to communicate with our band, our athletics groups as well. So they're not communicating outside of a unified platform.
Any other questions for Molly? All right, we need to take action on this. I'll make the motion on this that we approve administration's recommendation contracting with ClassTag for our new communication platform. The contract period will include implementation and kickoff from 4/1/23 through 8/31/23 with our first year term of 9/1/23 through 8/31/24 with the option to renew for two one-year extensions. The total cost will be $40,419.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any other, and the second was by Mr. Gallegos. Do we have any other board discussion? Do we have any public comment? If not, all in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you, Molly. And now, Mr. Henry, you're back for consideration of bid number 23-008, elementary gym ceiling repair.
Nearly 20 years ago, San Angelo saw the need to have multi-purpose buildings to house gym classes and music classes. Over the years, these buildings have held school programs, campus pep rallies, and fall festivals. The original ceilings were covered with insulation and secured in place with a plastic cover. The cover has deteriorated over the years and left parts of the insulation exposed at most of the campuses. It was determined the best way to fix this was to cover the ceilings with high-density recovery board. This will not only provide a clean, hard surface, but will also add R value to the ceiling. Specifications were created and an RFP was posted. 2 submissions were received. The bids were scored in Onyx. Facility Solutions, Inc. not only had the lowest price, but also received the highest score. The administration recommends contracting with Onyx Facility Solutions for the repair of 19 multi-purpose buildings for the total cost of $695,309.50. Do you all have any questions over that?
Just to note that Onyx also said they get started likely by the middle of April.
Yes, I think they said April 15th.
With an anticipated time of completion of all 19 gyms roughly by next December,
Right.
which was quicker as well.
Yes.
With that, I'll make a motion for, for Onyx, to go with the administration's recommendation to proceed with Onyx for our gym ceiling repair for a total price of $695,309.50.
Second.
There's a motion by Dr. Kingman, a second by Ms. Mizell Flint. In regard to this agenda item, is there any other board discussion? Any public comment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Henry. All right, unless any board member thinks we need to go into executive session, Dr. Detloff and Dr. Kingman and I don't have anything to. All right, well, then let me just make announcements that our finance pre-agenda workshop, next one will be April 10, and then our regular board meeting will be April 17th. And with that, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you for being here.